Good afternoon. Welcome to our weekly business meeting of the South Carolina Public Service Commission. Today is Thursday, August 29th, 2024. It is approximately 2 p.m. Before we begin, would you please join me in a moment of silent reflection? Thank you. All commissioners are present here in the commission hearing room except for Commissioner Thomas, who is on annual leave. Seated to my right is one of our staff counsel, and also the technical advisor of our commission is here, Mr. Scarborough. We are ready to proceed. Mr. Scarborough, if you would please go ahead.
Yes, sir. First order of business is to set the next regularly scheduled business meeting. Staff recommends that the next commission business meeting be set for Thursday, September the 12th, 2024 at 2 o'clock p.m.
Would you repeat that, please?
Thursday, September 12th, 2024
September
at 2
12th.
p.m.
Next business meeting will be September 12th at 2 o'clock. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you. Today we have 6 items, a relatively short agenda, just 6 items on the utilities agenda and 5 items on the transportation agenda. Item number 1 appears in docket number 2024-154C. This item involves final disposition of this docket.
Having heard item number 1 is presented by Mr. Scarborough, do I hear a motion?
Chair Powell,
Commissioner Caston.
I move that the Commission approve the application of Impact Telecom LLC for a certificate of convenience and necessity to provide resold long-distance telecommunication services and for alternative regulation of long-distance service offerings. So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Caston. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries.
Item number 2 is in docket number 2024-237E. Staff recommends that this item be carried over.
The item will be carried over.
Thank you. Item number 3 is in dockets number 2023-8E and 2023-10E. This is a request from the Office of Regulatory Staff to maintain the confidential version of corrected Exhibit JFS1 in the direct testimony and exhibits of James Findlay Salter.
Do I hear a motion?
Chair Powers, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner C. Williams, you have the floor.
Thank you. I move that the Commission grant the request of the Office of Regulatory Staff for confidential treatment of corrected Exhibit JFS1. This corrected exhibit is filed as part of the direct testimony and exhibits of witness James Findlay Salter. Additionally, as granted by Order Number 2024-505, the prior confidential version of Exhibit JFS1 shall remain confidential unless or until the Commission rules such information is not entitled to protection from public disclosure. There is no change to Order Number 2024-505.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries.
Item number 4 also is in dockets number 2023-8E and 2023-10E. This is a request from Duke Energy Progress LLC and Duke Energy Carolinas LLC for confidential treatment of the rebuttal testimonies of witnesses Glenn Snyder, Philip Stillman, and Benjamin Smith.
Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chair.
Vice Chair Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, fellow commissioners, I move that the Commission grant the request of Duke Energy Progress LLC and Duke Energy Carolinas LLC for confidential treatment of the rebuttal testimonies of Mr. Glenn Snyder, Mr. Philip Stillman, Mr. Benjamin Smith, and Mr. Benjamin Smith, as requested by the companies pursuant to Order Number 2005-226. So moved.
Thank you, Vice Chair Williams. Is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
Item number 5 appears in docket number 2019-326E. This item involves the authorization of a provisional interconnection service option for 2022 Definitive Interconnection System Impact Study interconnection customers.
Do I hear a motion?
Chair Powers.
Commissioner Caston.
I move that the Commission grant the authorization sought by Duke Energy Carolinas and Duke Energy Progress in its application with an effective date of September 1st, 2024, specifically for interconnection customers in the 2022 DISIS. The companies are authorized to include the proposed Appendix 7 to the pro forma South Carolina Interconnection Agreement with an effective date of September 1st, 2024. Proposed Appendix 7 attached to the company's application as Exhibit A shall be attached to this issued directive order as Order Exhibit 1. Further, the companies are authorized to use the Provisional Interconnection Study Agreement attached as Exhibit B to the company's application and attached to this directive as Order Exhibit 2. The authorization herein approved is subject to additional requirements as follows. 1. Upon completion of the 2022 DISIS process, the company shall provide a report filed not later than April 30th, 2025, to the Commission summarizing the utilization and effectiveness of the Provisional Interconnection Service option as described in Appendix 7. The report shall include, regarding the 2022 DISIS cluster, A, number of interconnection customers and respective megawatts eligible to request provisional interconnection service. B, the number of interconnection customers and respective megawatts that requested provisional interconnection service pursuant to Appendix 7. C, the number of interconnection customers and respective megawatts authorized for provisional service interconnection by the companies pursuant to Appendix 7. D, summary of challenges and benefits identified through the process and the company's overall assessment of the effectiveness of the provisional interconnection service option. And E, the company's plan to extend the provisional interconnection service option to other interconnection customers. 2, the company shall continue to engage SECIBA and other stakeholders regarding potential provisions to the terms of the 2022 RFP PPA and on other alternatives to facilitate earlier interconnection of generators behind long lead time updates. To the extent that non-confidential information is not provided via the company mentioned OASIS web pages nor in the ORS report, SECIBA may make a supplemental request for the production of relevant non-confidential information related to projects that apply for provisional interconnection service. I move the Commission recognize Appendix 7 is for the use of Duke Energy Carolinas and Duke Energy Progress only. Any utility seeking to have a similar provision will need to apply to the Commission for authority to implement it in the utility service territory. I move that the Commission find and conclude that the Appendix 7 may go into effect without notice or hearing pursuant to South Carolina Code annotated 5827-870F because it does not result in a rate change or required a determination of the company's rate structure or rate of return. I move that the Commission find and conclude that the request of Duke Energy Carolinas and Duke Energy Progress, as reflected and with additional requirements as indicated in this directive, is just, reasonable, and in the public interest. So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Caston. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
Item number 6 is in docket number 2024-144E. This is a request from Duke Energy Carolinas, LLC, and Duke Energy Progress, LLC, for confidential treatment of Exhibit 1 of witness George Brown's testimony.
Having heard item 6, is there a motion?
Chair Powers, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Williams, you have the floor.
Thank you. I move that the Commission grant the request of Duke Energy Progress, LLC, and Duke Energy Carolinas, LLC, for confidential treatment of witness George Brown's Exhibit 1 to his pre-filed direct testimony.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Having heard the motion, is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, that completes the utilities agenda before the Commission. Moving on to the motor carrier agenda, In Part A, we have 3 applications for new Class C certificates. These items can be taken together. Item A1 is in docket number 2024-234T, which is the application of Midlands and Low Country Taxi LLC for a Class C taxi certificate. Item A2 appears in docket number 2024-235T, which is the application of Southern Charm Limos LLC for a Class C charter bus certificate. And item A3 is in docket number 2024-236T, which is the application of Quickness Logistics and Delivery LLC for a Class C charter certificate.
Having heard items A1 through A3 as presented by Mr. Scarborough, do I hear a motion?
Chair Powers, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Williams.
Thank you. I move that the commission approve the applications for Class C certificates in items number A1 through A3 as identified by Mr. Scarborough. A directive order will be issued for each application in the respective dockets.
Having heard the motion by Commissioner Williams, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, hearing none, the motion carries.
In Part B of the transportation agenda, we have 1 request to amend the certificate. Item B1 is in docket number 2016-137T, which is a request from Cleo Lee, doing business as on-time delivery, to amend Class C taxi certificate number 9159 to read Divine Styles LLC.
Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Belser.
thank you. I move the commission grant the request of Cleo Lee, doing business as on-time delivery, to change its name and to amend its Class C taxi certificate number 9159 to read Divine Styles LLC.
Thank you, Commissioner Belser. Having heard the motion, is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, hearing none, the motion carries.
In Part C of the transportation agenda, we have 1 request for an extension of time. Item C1 is in docket number 2024-161T, which is a request from Yeah That Movers LLC for a 12-month extension of time to comply with Commission rules and regulations.
As to item C1, is there a motion?
Mr. Chair.
Vice Chair Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, fellow commissioners, I'll offer a brief background for your consideration before I make my motion. Directive Order Number 2024-372, issued on June 13th, 2024, granted the application of Yeah That Movers LLC for a Class E household goods certificate. Yeah That Movers LLC timely requested an extension within the 90-day time frame for compliance with the terms and conditions as specified in the commission order. As such, I move that the commission grant the request for extension of time to comply with commission rules and regulations until June 12th, 2024. That has to be wrong. I'm sorry,
25.
Mr. Chair and Vice
25.
Mr. Chair and Commissioners, is June 12th, 2025 to comply with commission rules and regulations. Excuse me for that mistake. This extension of time until June 12th, 2025 allows Yeah That Movers LLC a period of 12 months from the directive order date of June 13th, 2024 to come into compliance. If the company has not come into compliance by June 12th, 2025, Yeah That Movers LLC may file a new application with the commission when the applicant is ready to comply with commission rules and regulations. So moved.
Thank you, Vice Chair Williams, and thank you for the correction. Having heard the motion, is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, this concludes all business noticed before the Commission today.
Thank you, Mr. Scarborough, and thank you, Mr. Scott Winburn, our attorney. Is there any further business from any of the commissioners? Hearing none, I say if you're traveling for the holiday weekend, enjoy yourselves, be safe, and set your home thermostat accordingly. Same if you're staying home. Good day. We are adjourned.